Hello, guys. Firstly, I'd just like to say thank you for the questions. They were very insightful and very thoughtful, and I'm looking forward to answering them for you. Hopefully, we'll all be back on the pitch soon. I know it's a difficult period at the moment. None of us are able to get out and play football, but I'm sure it'll all ease off soon and we'll get back on the pitch doing what we love. The first question was from Reese. I know Reese well. I know his dad Elliot well. He's got a fantastic attitude. And I really enjoy watching him play.
Hi John, how are you? I've just got one question for you, which is what was it like making the progression from to the first team and progressing up the leagues and playing against different people that had different qualities, and how did you cope and how did you have to use your strengths against their other strengths?
Good question. I think moving up to the first team from when you're a young player is always quite tricky because you're going into a dressing room with experienced players, sometimes maybe 10, 15 years older than you. You sort of got to deal with that and, have the desire to prove yourself, in front of these players that maybe have played 3, 4, 500 games. But for me, which always helped me, that I always had, that desire to prove myself. I always believed in myself and I always believed that I could take anybody's place in that team. It was difficult. I wasn't the most loudest of lads to start with, but I always had the confidence in myself that I could push myself through. So I think if you can always have that confidence in yourself, always have that self-belief, then it'll take you a long way. In terms of progressing, through the leagues, I think for me, to start with, luckily I had a guy called Jim Harvey who really believed in me, and he gave me the chance to play first team games at Forest Green, and that really helped me to sort of establish myself. But like I said before, I think a lot of it is down to that self-belief and, believing that, you are good enough and you do deserve to be there. The next question was from Tommy.
Hi Jonathan, my name's Tommy O'Ladron and I play for Cambridge Academy. My question for you is, during your career you have moved clubs many times. How did you cope with this mentally? Thank you.
That is another good question. It's never easy, moving clubs, because you sort of, like in anything, in your schools, in your jobs, you sort of get settled and you get used to the environment that you're in. So to move isn't easy. You're sort of going into a new changing room with 30 lads who, a lot of them you probably never met before. And you sort of maybe looked upon as he might be taking my place. But like I said in the first question, wherever I've gone, I've believed that, I deserve to be there and my job is to play football and to do it to the best of my ability. So I think, I've coped with it by, just being myself really and trying to enjoy it. It sometimes can feel like, you're under pressure and, things don't always go well in life, never mind football. You can't expect, it to all go smoothly. So there will be good days and there will be bad days. But as long as you give it your best and you try to enjoy it, which I've always tried to do, then, I think you'll go far. Luke asked me a question about
who's the most physical player/team you've played against, and why, and how did you cope with it? And then who's the most skillful technical player you've played against, and how did you cope with it, and why? Thank you.
That is a tricky one. The leagues that I played in, you do come up against very physical teams. I played against Danny Cowley's team for Stevenage a couple of seasons back away. That one game does come to mind because Lincoln that day were very direct. They were playing really long ball football, getting on second balls, and being really physical with us. We had quite a young team, and that day, unfortunately, we didn't come out on top. Their tactics sort of really bullied us into getting the result going their way. So I'd say a physical team was that one. In terms of skillful player, that I played against a lot of really good, talented players. One that does come to mind from when I was from my younger days was a player called Two Guy at Blackburn Rovers. He was a really good player. It was like he had eyes in the back of his head, and he just, every time he got the ball, it was really hard to get it off him, and a very good passer of the ball. He comes to mind. Another skillful player that you might have heard of, playing for York, I played against Marcus Alonso, who's now at Chelsea, who's a left back. had a really good left foot, really good athlete, really good crosser of the ball. He was also one that comes to mind as being a really skillful player. Another player that I could mention that is really good. Marko Arnautovic, when I played against Stoke for Luton Town. He was skillful in a way I'd not seen before. He had upper body strength, really hard to get the ball off. Knew his surroundings. So when he took the ball, he knew where he was on the pitch. He was just a very skillful player. So they're the ones that spring to mind.
How did it feel getting over 100 appearances for Forest Green and Luton, and which 100 appearances did you prefer and why? Thank you.
Both very good, very good feelings. I think Forest Green being my first proper professional, club, I think, it was a very good feeling to get to 100 games because it was sort of where I started out, sort of proving myself, and the club were really good to me. They're really good fans, and I've got a lot of love for that club still. I'm still in touch with a lot of people down there. I really enjoyed playing. It was quite sad to leave actually, because I did love playing for that club, but at the time I needed to progress my career, so it was time to move on. For Luton, totally different feeling really, because I'd sort of had a really bad injury and I broke my leg, and then come back and made the 100 appearances. That felt really good because I'd sort of come through adversity to get to the 100 appearances. And same again, making 100 appearances for such a good club, and a club that holds high in my heart really. So it was a good feeling to pick one out is difficult. They both, good achievements, and I'm proud of those.
Hi John, my name is Charlie and I'm 13, and my question is, have you ever worked with a manager you disagree with, and how did you overcome this?
For me, every manager that I've played under, I try to take something from. I try to, they're in charge, and I do my best as I can for that person, whether I like them or not. I played under a manager last year for Chesterfield called John Sheridan, and he continually played me out of position at right back, which wasn't a problem to me. I give it my best shot, and I always give it as much as I could. But I think he was very hard on me in terms of some of my performances might have been a bit up and down playing in that position. But I think, having played over 500 games in central midfield, that was my natural position. But, to just go in at right back and expect to be, like Cafu, I think was difficult for me. But, I tried to deal with it by just giving it my best every game, whether I played right back, centre back, in goals. I just always try and give it everything I've got. Then, if someone has a go at you, if in your back of mind you give it your best, then there's nothing you can do.
Hello Jonathan, my name is Tom. I've enjoyed reading about your career on Wikipedia, and I have a question about one of your early transfers. Having come through the youth system at Morecambe and making your first team debut of them, how did you feel about your first permanent transfer to Forest Green Rovers, still being very young and the new club being so far away?
Yeah, it was quite daunting, but I was really excited about it. Jim Harvey, who was the manager at Morecambe, took me there. He took over at Forest Green, and I owe him a lot. You can work hard, you can do everything right in football, but sometimes you need that one person who's going to give you that opportunity. And Jim Harvey gave me, a young experienced 19-year-old, a chance to play, every week at first team level. He coached me, he gave me everything, and I think, I'm a lot in debt of Jim Harvey. He's the guy that gave me an opportunity, and I think to move to Forest Green was a really exciting time for me. I think even though I was young, I just couldn't wait to get my teeth into it. I moved away. I lived, a house shared. I had to go online and find a house to share, with random people, and try and make the best of it. I weren't on a lot of money, but what I did have was a desire and a flipping ambition to really succeed at it. I was desperate to make it, and I think to be given that opportunity, I wasn't going to let it go, and I didn't. I excelled there. I won Player of the Year. I scored goals. I had a really good time. I came on leaps and bounds there, and like I said, I think moving away helped me that, because it gave me the experience of being out of my comfort zone. I couldn't just lean on my mum and dad for any help. I was there on my own, and I had to deal with it. I had to live in a new town, and but I think experience has definitely helped me.
Jonathan, my name is Damien Ladron. I'm 13 and I play for Cambridge Academy. My question to you is, due to the fact that you move clubs a lot and the fact that you played in midfield, which is a key role in a team, how did you deal with adapting to different playing styles?
I think that is another good question because I played under so many different managers that, everyone has their own ideas. And I think what I've always done is I've always tried to buy into those ideas. I've always, whatever the manager wants, I've always tried to, give it everything. I've never really thought this is the wrong or right way to do it. I've just tried to give it everything I could. And to adapt to that, sometimes it's tricky, if you're used to a certain style. Like I played under a manager called Paolo Di Canio, who was very, structural based, and this is how we're going to play. These are the tactics. You stuck to that regime. Whereas I played under other managers who was just sort of a freedom to go and do what you think on the pitch. So it's sometimes quite difficult, to get used to the different sort of things what managers want. But I think if you just, like I said before, if you just yourself and you enjoy it and you give it everything you've got, then you can't go far wrong, really. No one can really, criticise you if you're trying to do everything you can to give your best for that club. And I think for you guys as young players, trying to make it in the game, he's just at the moment just trying to enjoy it. Don't feel pressure from anyone. It's easy to be thinking maybe, oh, I'm not as good as that player, or I'm not as good as him. But when I was your age, I don't even think I was any better than anyone else in my age group. Whereas I think every player in my age group, I don't think many of them play anymore. So for me, it's not about being the best. It's about enjoying and trying to learn from your coaches and your mum and dad, and working hard at school, and then see where that takes you.
Hi Jonathan, my name is T. I was wondering, throughout my life I've been playing as a striker, but recently, for the last season or so, I've been playing as a right back. So I was wondering, how do you know when you really found the position for yourself?
Hello T, that's a really good question. I think during my career, I played numerous different positions, and it's never easy to get moved out of position. But they're all good experiences. And at your age, I think it's really good to be trying out different positions, because it does get you used to, how the game goes, and, you get a better understanding of it if you try different positions. I think for you, it's the best thing you can do is just try and enjoy it, try your best and keep developing your skills, because I think a position will naturally come as you get a little bit older. A position will come to you that, and it might be right back or it might be striker. You might end up in midfield, I don't know. But I think as long as you keep trying, that natural position will come. For me, at your age, I started off as a right winger. And then I think when I got to about 15, 16, I ended up moving into central midfield and spent most of my career there. So I wouldn't put too much importance on your position at the moment. Just keep trying hard, developing the basic skills, and you'll not go far wrong. Thanks. Sure. If any of you guys need anything else, feel free to ask me any questions anytime. I'm more than happy to answer the questions. Thanks for your time.